lights on now. We're gonna have to contain ourselves. We're gonna have to start this thing.
Okay.
Will I wait? Am I ready to go? Okay. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Good morning, everyone. This is the Friday, wait a minute. Is this September? Yeah, September 8th. Well, it's September already. It's amazing. Friday, September 8th, meeting of the Trees and Green Infrastructure Committee here on the second floor of the City Hall in Rehoboth Beach. We have more than 4 people here today, which is like astounding. So I couldn't be more excited. I'm going to start with the call to order and the roll call at 10 o'clock. Okay, and we have Andrea Huffman here.
Andrea Hoffman here.
Okay, Miss
Susan Gay here.
Yeah.
Jennifer Duncan here.
Diana Jones.
Okay, and I knew that Robert informed me that he wasn't going to be able to make it today, and Katie Downs is not with us. But anyway, we will soldier on. If I may, if we had a chance to look at the minutes that were prepared, if anybody would like to make a motion to approve them, if you have no comments.
And I was not here that day, so I won't vote on them.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Okay.
just the three of you.
Can
Yes.
second that?
Second.
Okay,
I
okay.
second.
Diana's gonna second that, okay. All in favor, say aye or don't. say
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'll aye, and then I think we've approved them appropriately. Okay, good. All right, I don't believe we got any correspondence that we received in the past month. And I guess we'll just move on to our items of business, all of which are a continuation of things that we've discussed in the past, but hopefully we can expand on them. So these are kind of Susan's show, so
No, it's not.
well,
The
not
first one,
entirely,
maybe.
but
It better not
just-
be. I don't think it'll be a short meeting.
yeah, right, yeah.
But I will give an update on the commemorative tree. And just as background, you may recall that we're now getting, starting earlier this year, quarterly updates from the city. They come from Lynn Cohn. She and someone in the finance department manage, the keeping track of all the donations. And I last reported in April, and then she did give us an update for the second quarter. She actually sent it to me in early July, but we did not meet in July. And then this committee didn't meet in July, and then I was not here in August. So this update is a second quarter update, and we'll be getting another one actually probably next month, so that these two updates will be close together. But last time I reported that we had, I think, about 55,000 in total donations, and I'm pleased to report that now it is up to, or as of the end of June, it is up to 58,435, and we have exactly 100 donors now. So this year, in fact, this calendar year, we have had 2 $1,000 donations.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, and that's without really any, I don't know that there was any publicity yet this calendar year. So that's good. Okay.
So, I don't know if we've discussed this before, but in terms of do we have sort of an idea of like what that the funds can be used for, or I mean, maybe I'll pose that to, and I didn't recognize you, I'm sorry, but Liz Lingo, our city arborist, is here with us, and do we have any kind of like guidance with regard to what the funds can be used for or have been used for the
The donors' funds, they have, they're only used for, we have to pay the invoices for the actual leaves themselves and that engraving, and then for planting of new trees on public property.
Yeah.
Okay, so as those activities arise, it'll be.
Well, each year you have a planting project on city property that is funded by this program. Like last fall, it was the Delaware Avenue trees, right?
Partially, yeah. So we have to plan way far in advance because of how we do our budget.
right.
Like we will have our budget due to the commissioners in just a couple of months.
Yeah.
And so planning for things that are occurring a year in the future.
Okay,
So we kind of just subtract, how I do it is subtract the total donations versus what we've spent out to the account, and that's the budget for the coming year.
okay.
So what is the tree, I don't know that I've asked this because I haven't been here in a couple months. Is there a tree planting project this fall using commemorative tree funds?
No, we just had various requests from people for street trees, so it was
You
being
mentioned
used for
that. And did you do, and are those going to be done? I mean, those are, or have been done?
Have not been done, fall.
They will be.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
so
many, how many?
I don't have it memorized off the top of my
But
head.
More than 5?
More than 5 trees total, yes.
Okay, great.
Just before we continue, just to let everyone know, I have a 11 o'clock meeting, so I'll have to
Sure.
leave slightly
Okay.
before then in case there's something that
We'll probably be done.
on the agenda that you might want to rearrange or
Yeah, no, okay.
Liz, this may be, I don't know whether you know off the top of your head, but what are the locations? Do you have any idea? No.
I don't remember them, no.
Okay.
Okay.
And so then the policy is that that the funds are used for city tree planting or requests from people specifically for street trees which are on city property, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
city
Yeah.
street tree planting.
that's good. Okay.
Well, anyway, I think that's outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if do people know they can request street trees? I mean, is that generally known?
Not sure.
Yeah,
It's on the website.
yeah, okay, all right, okay.
Well,
I
that's
found it
something
on the
that could
website
be-
when I moved in.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay.
Okay. All right. Anything further?
That's it, no, that's just a numerical update. primarily.
Okay. I'm going to move on then to the tree mapping and that program that we have, that has been established.
And Andrea is going to probably give most of the update on that.
Okay.
So we have a meeting scheduled. We have a meeting scheduled with Lynn Cohn very soon to talk about the brochure that is going to come out. Basically, I think we're looking for guidance. We have a lot of information, and we need to know what we want her ideas really about what should be included in the brochure, and what we can delete. We have a lot of really good information.
Yeah.
And this is getting back on track to a project that was largely done before you became chairman. It was largely done last year. I presented in July of '22, one of my last things, in fact, was presenting to the commissioners a proposal for this tree tour brochure.
Okay.
At the time, Lynn Cohn had given me a budget for the print component of that. We were going to be getting tree tags. Liz found a good source for getting very inexpensive tree tags. And we have a draft of the content, but it needs to be cut down, significantly. I think the idea was that the brochure would have a QR code on it so that someone could go to the website and get more information.
Right.
The tour is in Stokely Park. Is that the name of it? Yeah. In Country Club, I should know that.
Okay.
That's the initial one. That was supposed to be sort of a first of what would be several.
So Susan and I both have drafts, and I think that Liz had signed off pretty much on the drafts that we have. So we're going to start editing.
Okay. Okay.
And just get this back on track because really it's done, and
Yeah,
let's just
right.
do it. So
Now, was there thought, I thought there was some conversation, if in my faded memory here, that we might be able to make this, have a sort of an online component to it?
There would have to be,
There would
because-
have to be, but I guess what I'm getting at is that you could have an app that like,
Well-
we're getting ahead of ourselves with
I think
that.
we're getting it. Yeah, it'll have QR. I don't think the QR codes are going to be on the tree tags, are they, or are they?
We can.
So that's another possibility. Is
It would be one QR code to take you to like a status website. So the tag would say like red maple, Acer rubrum, City of Rehoboth,
Right.
QR tree number 1 with a QR code. And then
Right.
you would scan the QR code and it'd take you to a list of like 20 trees and you'd say tree 1 and then that's where you would see
Oh, so one QR
information.
code for all the tags, you're saying?
I believe, it's been a while, but I believe that's what was intended rather than like 30 different things.
Right, yeah, okay. So that would be on tree number 1, the QR code would be on the first tree on the tour?
No, I think you would.
You put it on any of them? All of them?
Yeah. we can
Okay,
put
I
the-
see.
But I think
Yeah.
if I'm remembering correctly, it would be the same QR code that would lead you to a website that just had them in a row.
You'd scroll down, in other words.
front.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's better to have it on the tag. If there's room on the tags, it's better to have them on the tags and not just on the print
Well,
brochure,
and
that's
if
for
you
sure.
had different QR codes, then you would have to scan every single
Exactly,
one.
yeah.
Right, yeah, yeah,
instead
I
of-
understand. Yeah,
It's
right.
just looking, now, if you had like 500 trees, it might be a little different.
Yeah, no,
So
it's good.
we're really hoping to get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess what the other thing, I'm just so you know, I can ask dumb questions.
Yeah,
but
you're allowed.
I don't necessarily say this is going to be a dumb question. It may, you decide. But I'm really asking the question for people to, you know, if they obviously, if anybody has questions about this, please contact me or the city, and they can direct a call or email or whatever. But I'm just wondering, for people who have contributed and have, like, I'm assuming most of this is for them to locate the tree that they.
No, this doesn't have anything to do with the contributed. This doesn't have
Okay.
anything to do with commemorative tree.
Okay, but are there not reasons for certain, so this is just strictly?
That's a different, there are actually two projects under the
Okay,
whole tree
okay.
mapping.
Well, that's-
One is this
and
tree
I did ask
tour.
a stupid question.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually glad you did, because there were two separate projects, and only one of them we have moved forward on right now, which is this tree tour brochure. They're
Okay,
both, they're
gotcha.
both considered tree mapping projects. The other one is an online map that will identify, and I have to get back to Max and jumpstart this again, but it was a map online that would show where all of the trees funded by commemorative tree have
There
been
you go,
planted.
okay, all right.
And that we still need to do, and then there would be a list over on the side of all the donors.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
So this thing that we're talking about is really education.
Yeah.
They're heritage trees, they're specimen
Okay,
trees. I should
right,
say.
okay.
Specimen trees are what they are.
Okay, all right,
And, you know, we chose this because it's a location that is.
okay. So,
Into the microphone, Andrew.
em-
And it's about 12 of them, right, now? Because there were 13
yes,
and
there were
one was
13,
taken
yes,
out,
yep.
right, okay.
so how do you get on that list? How does one get that, a particular tree on that list?
We chose them.
You chose them?
We saw this location and said, this is a perfect teaching tool.
Oh, okay.
Because located in this park, this little park,
Okay.
are some wonderful, very different trees. So
Okay.
this is education.
Okay, because, like, I would like to know, and I'm putting this out there, who has the biggest magnolia?
Ah,
And I think I know, but I'm not saying. But I think that would be, that we have certain specimen trees of note
well,
that may or may not be that you chose.
Well, but that brings up the other point, that when the tree tours were first talked about, 6, 8 years ago, the first version of this committee, we were planning to include trees on private property, which is probably where the largest magnolia is, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna guess.
right.
And that was ruled out. I mean, the communications director at the time and other city staff said, because of safety concerns and privacy reasons, you can't do that. So then it sort of came to a halt, and the revamping of that is emphasizing trees on city property, because there are a number of good ones.
Oh, sure.
And we talked about a number of routes. I mean, we talked about featuring ones that go from Stokely Park all the way, down Scarborough and back here to Lake Gerard. But that was seen as sort of too ambitious for step one. And step one, because there are these 12 specimen trees right in Stokely Park, to start there.
But what, I'm going to keep asking questions here. If someone were willing to give permission to be on, would that alleviate any of the concern or no?
It didn't at the time.
I remember all this pretty well. A lot of ideas were thrown around, and we were looking for something that we could do that was safe for people to like walk in one area instead of sending them all throughout the city.
Okay.
Right.
And then also, if you had a tree in your property and somebody was walking and tripped and fell, there were just so many unknowns with the private property, and then
Right.
it got spread all apart, so that it defeated the purpose of like a simple walking tour. So we landed on Stokely Park because it was relatively compact. We had some interesting trees there, like a good variety compared to other parks. And like Susan said, we we stuck to that and said if we wanted to expand it from there, it would be a very easy thing to wrap it around, walk here, walk there, end up at Lake Girard, and then maybe the QR code takes you to a website that says tree tour number 1, Stokely Park, tree tour number 2, Lake Girard. So I think it definitely makes the most sense, but we, for multiple meetings, explored the idea of like the privately owned specimen trees, and it just didn't pan out.
This is really, when you think about the fact that you have the covered area for picnicking, you have
Right.
the, you have the playground.
Right.
You have turtle, you have all the turtles and
Yeah,
the
right,
bridge.
yeah, yeah.
It's just a perfect spot for, an afternoon outing or something
sure,
like that with
yeah.
kids. So
No, I'm
this
just,
is-
I'm
yeah.
just,
So that's partially, that was another reason why we thought this was
right,
just.
right, no, no
You-
question.
Bunky, you asked all the same questions we spoke, like, same things that we asked a couple of years ago probably now, so you're right on par with what we already thought of.
'Cause, we can have like the battle of the biggest magnolias.
We should think about that.
I don't know,
Well,
we have a
I'm-
couple
I'm-
of big southern magnolias on city property too. The one by the Anna Hazard House and the one at Lake Girard by Navigators.
It might be fun, though, to have some sort of, the biggest oak tree, the biggest magnolia, to have people go out and sort of submit their trees.
Yeah. They're champions.
They're champions, yeah. Okay, let's just think about that.
Okay,
at
because
some
I
other
think I
date.
actually had the
Tree?
largest in girth
It was yours.
Norway maple,
Seen that.
but I don't think I do now because a big chunk of it broke off last year, so.
So we
anyway.
would call this tree
Yeah,
champion.
yeah, right,
Okay.
right.
It's an interesting program people can
Yeah,
nominate.
yeah.
All
I
right.
like
Yeah.
this.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, well, I'm going to just note that for
Yeah.
future ideas, okay, just big tree.
And then those could be on private property because we wouldn't be having a tour of them. We would just
Yeah,
just
right,
be-
but if people wanted to know where they were or something like that, I
You
don't
could
know,
even have a blue ribbon or something that says,
yeah. Or at Christmas time, a star, something. All right,
Okay,
have we,
update that next time after we meet with Lynn.
okay. All right, and this may be your topic as well. The next item has to do with
Regrettably.
the lecture program, which is, I think,
regrettably, yes. So
coming
I
upon
take
us.
full responsibility for this. I was put in touch with Bill McAvoy, who is the state botanist of Delaware, and I invited him too late, and I got a very lovely note back from him that said, Andrea, I have 4 speaking engagements in October.
Oh, so he can't do it?
Can't do it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
However, he said, next year, you're in. So,
Yeah,
my apologies, everybody.
okay,
Okay?
all right. So do we have a Plan B?
No.
No?
No.
Well, in terms of since he said he was available next year, are we thinking, so far, the programs have been, how many, 2, 3 of them have been in the fall? Would we automatically do them in the fall, or would we think, given that response, would we want to plan ahead and have one in the spring?
Well, I certainly have an email. Would you like me to try?
Well,
That's a good idea.
he didn't say when next year, he just said
Yeah,
he would
yeah.
keep us in
He
mind
just-
for
he
next
just
year.
said
Well,
next
I
year.
mean, since we're talking about it. it
Let's just think about this. When are people back here? Would it be April or May when people are planting and
it would be
mulching?
April.
It would be April.
Yeah, maybe late April.
And you definitely want it before the parking meters go on.
Yeah, right, yes.
So this fall is out.
This fall is out, yeah, it sounds like, yeah, I did not
Yes.
know that.
Okay, mea culpa, okay?
All right, well, unless, the only other thing was, does that rule out?
November?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, all
it
right.
does. I went there.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I just want to know that.
We would have Arbor Day.
Oh, that's right, yeah,
Well, no, I mean,
yeah,
so what?
right.
Part of the Arbor Day
Could
celebration.
be,
Although he's sedges, that's his big thing.
right, okay, yeah.
Or,
But we're green infrastructure.
So then it would probably have to be the week before Arbor Day?
Yeah, it would have to be the week before,
Or
but
it would have to be in May?
Do we all think that's worth an ask? Not that I want to make a
Well,
pest
the
of
other
myself.
question would be, in our conversation that we had with Carolyn, you know, that we might do something Earth Day
Yes,
related.
right, right.
Would you think that would fit into that, or no?
Sure, I mean, it could.
That's the 20th.
Because I'm just thinking Arbor Day, you know, and the other thing is we got to give up the, do we not have to give up the meeting?
You do.
And I don't know if you want to do that. Would we want to give up a meeting in
April.
You
April?
gotta give up one whenever you do it.
Well, right, but I mean, what I'm getting,
Earth Day
Well,
is the
nothing-
22nd.
If we give up a meeting, that doesn't preclude my calling and asking people for help, does it?
no, I don't think so. No, it's just we want to have a meeting, you know.
Then.
Yeah,
It's okay with me.
so,
So then, the Earth Day is the 22nd. I forget where you left things with,
well, I think we just left it open, and obviously we can revisit it, but, you know, and it's conceivable. I mean, I don't want to get too ambitious in a hurry, but, you know, we could do more than one thing related to.
Right, no, I get that.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so, you know, he would be a talk, and then we would do something else, or, I don't know, but,
It's worth it. I'll ask.
yeah, now
Okay.
he may have a lot of,
Earth Day things.
well, yeah, and a lot of.
That might be
yeah,
his big time of
thing-
year.
That may be a big week for him.
Yeah, so if you want to like suss out
Okay.
April, May, and to
Okay.
see what we got, you know,
All right.
it gives us some
You
flexibility.
would like it as, you would agree to May as well?
Yeah, I think so.
I
Well,
guess so.
I'm just saying thematically,
Okay,
you know, we can cover the,
okay.
the
Okay,
the
yeah,
Arbor
I can do
Day,
that.
Earth Day basis, you know, so, all right. Well, that kind of frees us up a little bit, I guess, so,
Apologies.
no, that's it. So next year. All right, moving, so the item here, and we may or may not, well, we'll see, regarding the Ivy Eradication Project brochure, where we want to take that. That was another thing that we sort of discussed with Carolyn, as if we had a cleanup project or something like that, you know, might be, you know, sort of
Cleanup project.
joined with them or
Oh,
something.
okay, and
Yeah,
were
yeah,
they
yeah.
interested in doing that?
And she was open to it. I mean, I
Okay.
think, you know,
So
but we didn't set a time or any of that kind of
that
thing.
would be
or-
down
or-
in G though, right?
Well, I'm just,
Oh, that's Ivy League. You're
that-
right.
well, that's,
what
that-
you're saying though, right? That they would
well,
help us with that?
we have sort of two items, so it would involve them, so we could join them together. But what I'm really thinking about is, organizing a project event, and then the other question, I think that G sort of pertains to establishing a group that would do, like, I think one of the things that Liz was talking about, that we would need to go, like, if let's say we went to Deauville Beach and did a project there, that we'd have a group of people that would go back and kind of follow up with it, you know, like maybe 3 to 6 months or whatever, to see, you know,
Yep.
to kind of,
Okay,
you know, see if anything had reestablished and that kind of thing. So like a follow-up kind of group that would, you know, monitor the status of the things we had done,
Well-
that kind of stuff.
to speak to the brochure,
Okay,
the brochure is the thing that I didn't bring it with me today, but it's
Right.
a single sheet.
The one that came from Arlington.
It's the one that came from Arlington. Now, that information we did convey in lines in the sand. You know, that already went out there. And then we had talked about inserting the brochure in utility, you know, whether we could Xerox it and put it in utility bills or something, but I
but
think we
the
nixed,
brochure itself doesn't exist yet, right?
And we nixed that.
yeah, and we nixed that. Well, the brochure exists, but it can be copied again and
Got
again.
it, okay.
We have the ability, you know, you have the right to copy it.
Okay,
So we nixed, I think, the idea of putting it in, into utility bills.
Yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
impractical.
Yeah. So I think that, I don't know that we can go any further with the brochure itself.
Okay,
okay?
Because we also, the other practical consideration is we're not able to deliver them like door to
Right,
door or anything.
which,
yeah, right.
which we, you know,
Okay.
that's what I thought we could do.
Okay. So, okay, well, we may very well put this.
I mean, frankly, there's the only, and I didn't think of this till just now, but it was because I got that card in the mail recently about Reach Out Rehoboth, which was a large format card, you know, relatively large format card. I mean, obviously, there's an expense involved, and I think that's the key, you know, for the city, because we haven't proposed this as an expense for the committee. But you could, as a one-time thing, send out a card with the information on it and a photograph on it or whatever to every homeowner. I mean, it's done periodically,
Well,
Well,
so.
what think we?
I mean, you saw the one that they sent out recently for, yeah, so it can be done.
and I guess the other thing is, could we not send something out via Reach Out Rehoboth?
I think she meant, well, yeah, yes, I mean, it would be, I know she's already done something, I thought, in Lines in the Sand,
She
right?
did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Right.
And, yeah, and it was well done. I mean, it was truncated a little bit, but it was well
That's right,
done.
because that was back in the spring, because people came
Yes.
up to me at the RBHA spring meeting and talked about it,
Yeah.
and and said that was really
Could it just
educational.
be repeated in the spring? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean-
information that could just be reminded every
Yeah.
spring.
That's
I
a good
mean,
idea.
I don't know if it needs to be a flyer. I mean,
Right,
It just seems like if it's emailed, maybe it just,
Right.
something to remind people of.
Well, certainly the format lends itself to being a postcard. I mean,
Right.
it's a
But I'm
question of
just
money.
saying, you
But,
know,
you're right, we could just repost it. Ask Lynn to
Yeah.
repost it.
Because I would think that over time, there would be a need for content on Reach Out Rehoboth.
Okay, you're talking about Reach Out Rehoboth versus.
Right.
Well, there's both.
Yeah, there's both,
Reach
right.
Out Rehoboth is a more permanent,
Yeah,
Lines
well,
in the
I'm
Sand
just
is a
saying,
newsletter.
we're trying to establish
Reach
it
Out
now.
Rehoboth it would exist there. just
Yeah.
perpetuity
It's
until it was removed.
formatted and it's ready to go.
Reach Out Rehoboth is for like big projects that are coming
Right.
out and to seek
That's the-
public
that's the
input
thing.
on major like things that are happening, not necessarily to provide information
that's
on like little campaigns. So Lines in the Sand would be better.
Maybe, okay, but we can talk to Lynn about it.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's, okay. so
You wanna talk
we're
to
gonna-
Lynn about
Yeah, I'm gonna see her on Wednesday. So,
Okay.
Yes.
Because is she still away? I thought she was on
I'm back.
vacation.
She's not on vacation, she's away at a
We-
communications
we-
conference.
We have a meeting
Oh,
set
oh,
up
so
on
okay,
Wednesday.
okay. Well, I'm just gonna say, talk with Lynn.
Oh, next spring, okay.
We get some great,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, if we were gonna include it in Lines, then it's something that should be repeated seasonally, because
Yeah.
that's when people are
Yeah.
doing it.
right, yeah,
Right.
okay. All right, I'm moving right along here. Item E, unless we want to talk about the caretaker group,
Can we do E?
let's do E. I'm going to be linear this week. Okay, this month, actually. We discussed this a good bit last month with regard, regarding the, some kind of tree program, and I think we kind of, I think, talked it through. However, we had kind of a smaller assembled group, and I kind of wanted to get everybody's thoughts on this. But, you know, again, this sort of came about as a suggestion by Tom Gaynor, I think, you know, a couple months ago. And not that it's a bad idea, I think it's a good idea, but it's just like, how do you do it? And how do you make it, you know, like, set out to do something that would be workable and accepted and, you know, an amenity that would serve the purpose of, you know, instilling in people to plant some more trees and so forth and so on. So I'm kind of like in the middle here. I don't know if we have like a perfect solution or an adequate solution or not, but just in terms of what we would, you know, we still have not really nailed down, I think, what the size and shape of it would be, you know, in terms of, you know, and we talked about basically having maybe a limited number, probably less than 5 types of trees that we would want to basically promote. And from that, some means by which people could either get them at a certain time of year and/or at maybe a reduced price or not. I don't think that was like a key to the thing. But, and again, I think one of the options is we can say no. We just say this is probably not going to work or whatever. But I just wanted to kind of see what everybody said.
No, go ahead. First. Oh, I looked up a couple different ways that other towns have done it, and one was Greenbelt had a way of registering for trees, that they had, Greenbelt, Maryland had like 5 different trees that they had their residents register for in advance, and they gave away trees. But then, sorry, that's making me nervous. Pennsylvania, Springfield, Pennsylvania has a similar commission that we do, Springfield Shade Tree Commission. They had 30 trees that they did a raffle for, and they had their citizens raffle away, and you had to pre-register for, I think they had 5 different kinds of trees, and they had a flyer.
Just looks like
Is that a gum?
a few years ago when we did the planning.
Is it?
Oh, that's so funny.
Sorry, my dog ate it. So, but yeah, they had 5 different trees. You had to pre-register for them. They had 30 trees in total. And you had to claim when you won, you had to claim your tree within 48 hours. And if you didn't claim it, it went on to the next person. So they had to make sure that, and I think they were pretty good sized. They have a picture of the trees, and I can pass this down.
Where did they get the trees?
That I don't know. And I thought I could probably contact them to see if they paid for the trees or whether they got them donated. And I don't know how big Springfield is. It might be a bigger
This is
place.
the township, not the town of Springfield, so it's big, it's bigger.
It's
than-
big. So we
Yeah.
could maybe do fewer trees. That, if we knew, I thought if you had to claim it, you would have to know that the people were here.
Right.
That it might be kind of a fun way, even if we had to, maybe we could get somebody to donate, 10 trees or 5 trees. It would be kind of a fun way to get they look like they were sizable trees rather than just I hate those saplings. Because those never live. And people always like handing me those
I
saplings.
am
and-
nursing too.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Those always get hit by the lawnmower or something, or they forget to be watered.
Right.
I just was really excited about that when I found it, because I thought that was just really kind of a fun idea, and that since people aren't always, I'm a part-time resident myself, that you would make sure that people were actually here when they won, and it would be kind of exciting to
It's
me
very
anyway.
cool. I did something too. I called the Arbor Day Foundation, and I spent a lot of time. It was very frustrating. I asked about getting trees. Was there a grant program? Was there something that we could do to get trees to give away for private property? And it turned out, and Liz, let me ask you this, because I know that we were a tree city, and the Arbor Day Foundation told me that since we were a tree city, they couldn't talk to me about that they didn't have a program to give away trees, but that I should contact the Tree City program. Did you, and what I learned is that these are 2 separate organizations, that the Tree City is under Arbor Day, but they have some of their own money. Is that anything that, I had such a hard time.
Didn't the foundation also tell you that you had to be a member?
Yes.
And you didn't know whether
but-
the city was
but
a member?
I found out the city is a member.
Oh, great.
Because I asked
Okay,
them
that's
that.
what I thought- I
So,
thought that's what I
am I right, Liz, or are they right, that the city is a member, correct?
We
No,
display
I mean,
their signs.
we are a tree city. I don't know if I can't recall if I pay a membership every year for it or not.
Okay, that's.
But the program they have is, we've explored it years ago. But it's saplings that they give away. So that, I mean, a little larger than saplings, but
Right, and we're getting
pots.
those those are coming through the state for us.
no, like, so that,
Oh, it's
I'm thinking
not.
of something different. So years ago, and I believe it was both Susan and you on this committee, we talked about the Arbor Day Foundation. They have like a tree program where you pay them for the tree and they kind of do like the organizing for you. Like Delmarva Power uses it, for example. You remember that? I mean, it's been years.
Yeah,
and, and we decided we didn't want to move. I think maybe we did a quick like webinar or call or demo with them, and then we decided not to move forward.
And that was through the Arbor Day Foundation.
Not sure it
Because
was.
It was either through, well, but it might have been through Tree City.
Because I kept pushing them, and I felt as if I was talking to somebody who really did not know everything, and I didn't know how to get rid of them and get someone else.
Fundraising arm, and then there's this other group or
So,
something.
I'm not sure there isn't a source here. I just don't know, and I will try again.
If we want bigger trees, you'll have to partner with like a nursery or a landscaper.
Okay, so, I mean, that's the thing that I think I was thinking that we should try and do. And I guess maybe Katie is the one to start
right.
asking questions with, we should.
Well, meanwhile, I like this.
we-
I like this giveaway thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of what.
I thought it was really cool.
yeah,
I got
yeah,
really
yeah,
excited when I found it.
But we got to
yeah.
get the trees.
Yeah, okay.
I
we could do
love
that,
this
you know,
too.
But the fact that
But
you
it
got
seemed
like
like we
kind of like a
wouldn't need to do
contest
a
and.
lot of them. It seemed like we could just do a few.
Right.
Yeah,
And just still make it fun.
Right.
You know, particularly if we had like decent-sized trees, we wouldn't have to spend a lot of money or get a lot of donations, you know? It seemed like we could just kind of, I don't know.
now the question is.
Where do we get the money?
No, I mean, the first question is, can we do a raffle? You know.
What?
A raffle. I have to find out. I mean, maybe we could make it another thing like I don't know. I can talk to Bert about it or something like that, just to find out. I mean, it's really not about the raffle. It's about creating a sense of excitement because it's a game of chance, so to speak. I don't know.
Right, a
But,
city,
you know, I mean, that's just really part of the.
So would you charge for the raffle?
Well, I don't know if we would be, I think
I
we
don't
would.
know how they did that. I just found that on the web like Monday when I had nothing else to
Otherwise,
do.
it's just a draw.
Okay.
You just sign up.
So I assume
Would
they
you mind
just-
calling them and just find out how
Yeah,
they
I
did it?
can-
If you
yeah.
would. And they, obviously, this is Arbor Day, which I think is good, but we wouldn't necessarily have to do it.
Yeah, I can contact them. I just didn't know if anybody, I didn't want to go ahead and contact them if nobody
Yeah,
was
right,
interested in
right.
it.
I
But-
think
I'll
it'd
go
be
ahead
really
and
fun
contact
for
them.
Arbor Day, to do it on Arbor Day.
Hey, you know, or something like that.
You can hang on to that if you don't mind the dog chew.
I think that's,
Yeah, I don't think we
it's a
could
great
charge. I don't think we could charge for it, but you could make them do something else to enter, like what's your favorite tree species or something,
Yeah,
or
something.
number
I
one
mean, I think
benefit
we
of
could- we
trees.
could-
Something
we could
silly.
figure it out.
Liz, that's a good idea.
Yeah, some-
Just come up with some fun thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we could post as part of an Arbor Day bulletin board or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I see some possibilities here.
But maybe we could do something at the farmer's market.
Or at the farmer's market?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
You would just have to make sure that you had some way to know whether or not they owned property in Rehoboth, because you can't be giving it away to.
Right, right.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But we could sort of, I mean, that's another thing like at the farmer's
Well,
market.
that's a thing for Reach Out Rehoboth.
Yeah, right.
Because that's divided.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
I
great.
I think this is the, or, you know,
She said you keep.
oh, I can keep this,
Yeah,
okay,
if
I'm
you
gonna.
want, yeah.
And what's the name of the town again?
It's
Springfield,
Springfield Township, not Springfield, PA. There's a difference.
and where is it?
It's in Montgomery County, north of Philadelphia.
Oh,
Whereas
okay.
Springfield, the town, is in Delaware County, south of Philadelphia. But
Oh, I thought we were
anyway,
talking about
So this
Springfield,
is in,
Virginia.
Montana.
Well,
yeah.
This
Montgomery
is,
County.
this is north.
Yeah, Montgomery County, north Philadelphia.
Phil.
Just north of the city.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry about the teeth marks.
yeah, that's cool. All right. All right, let me look this down. Okay. All right. On to the next topic, the fire scaping. And I'll mention now that I attempted to get in touch with a representative at the fire hall, and I have a call waiting, but I haven't talked to the person yet, so I can come back just to see. But, you know, in terms of, did they have like any thoughts on the topic or felt it was a risk or no? You know, I mean, you know, since we last met, I've talked to a number of people who both, you know, both sides of the spectrum, you know, one, it's like both not only the quality of putting the material down, but also potential fire. It wasn't so based on fire risk and stuff like that, but basically that either it's an adequate means of both as a mulch, but what do you call that? You know, so it doesn't perpetuate weeds and stuff like that. But people said it was good, and other people said it didn't work that well, and all that other kind of stuff. So you know, but anyway, but I think we can hopefully nail this down next time if I get to talk to the fire person, you know, so we know.
Yeah, but at the last meeting, Robert asked me to look into research to see if there were other cities, towns on the East Coast that
Okay.
have issues in banning what they call pine straw.
Pine straw.
Okay, so I researched on the internet, and for the most part, they are banned. Pine straw is actually banned by ordinance, and most of the towns in North Carolina and South Carolina, as I think Liz mentioned in previous meetings on this subject, that it's generally an issue with the South.
Right.
For New England, up the East Coast, when I tried to find information on the use of pine straw, plastic straws came up.
Oh, really?
Over and over again. So this is, I have 3 pages here, and I just want to mention a couple things. It is banned in many cities, towns, beach towns in the South. There are, fire scaping is, of course, a topic. Plants that help protect your property from fires. And I was thinking, since I couldn't find anything on the beach towns in the north,
Right.
that perhaps these couple of websites might be useful and helpful to the property owners in Rehoboth if they can match these not fire resistant, but they lessen the opportunity for fires to spread with what is plantable in our area. Fire scaping, plants that help your property. It's called fine gardening. Actually, FEMA has something out on pine straw, but anyway.
Talking about the magazine, Pine Garden?
Yeah, then there is fire-resistant plants for your home landscapes. That's firefree.org. So these are not landscapers advertising, but I think insofar as the straw goes, you know, you're correct. There are arguments on both sides.
Right. It's a controversial issue.
Yeah, I read, pine needles contain acidity which harms plants and grass. Pine needles will block air and sunlight, preventing both from reaching the soil and da-da-da-da-da. But, so my take on it now is if we can put something maybe somewhere, Liz can put something maybe on the website about matching these organizations that list plants and trees, that green, that are not fire resistant, but lower the issue, that match what we should be planting here in town.
Yeah, I think so.
And it would be good, I think, if we could get someone from the fire department just to come in
I'll
and
definitely
talk.
get with this guy, but you call the fire department and I can't talk to him, but they can call me back, and, it just got a little sloppy, so, but I will get in touch with the guy, and we'll know definitively. Well, okay, well, that's good. I think that's good. All right. And then last item was getting back to this Ivy League project, and I'm thinking, I think that I kind of felt was one of the options for something with the environmental group, if they wanted to kind of join us on developing that. But I think we first need to start thinking about if we want to select like the Devo Beach area for a cleanup project. I think we need to focus our attention on that first, and when we would want to do that. And I'm curious when you all think. Liz was saying probably early, like early spring or spring when it comes out, of course, but not when it got really established or something like that. So it sounds like
Oh, not fall.
not fall or we want to do fall.
Stepped out, so I don't
Yeah,
remember the time.
I don't know. I wasn't here last
Okay.
time, but I'd like to know
Okay.
what she
Good
thinks.
timing, I have a question.
Yeah.
Liz, if we were to go after the ivy down near the beach, did you suggest spring, fall? When did you suggest that would be?
Cutting it off trees, anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, that doesn't matter, yeah.
Okay.
I would say just whenever you're more comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Would be the easiest. I probably wouldn't do it in the dead of summer.
I wouldn't even do it today.
Yeah.
No, today wouldn't be a good day.
Yeah, winter would actually probably be the easiest time, as long as it was warm enough to be outside, because then there'll be less other plants in your way.
Yeah, that's interesting, right.
It'll stick out a little better for you.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's an interesting thought.
so would you be willing to set aside a time in early winter or at some point in the winter for us to collect some people and take us out where you think we should go? We need you to supervise. I guess,
not-
how would you?
Here's the thing, I'm not prepared to work on that area yet. We have too many other things that we actually own in the city limits of Rehoboth that need to be addressed before I move into areas that we haven't touched.
Okay.
So I professionally in the city and all that, not saying it's not worthwhile or that it doesn't need to be done, but that's pretty low on the priority. And to start on something that I can't then adequately maintain, because you don't cut ivy one time and it's over.
Right.
You cut ivy and then you have to follow up and treat it.
Well, let me ask
You
this.
can cut it. You can cut it multiple times a year if your group wants to undertake that. But I don't have the capacity to get into all of that Deauville area and start treating it at this time.
The areas that you are focusing on, would you need a group of citizens to come in and?
Well, the ivy is off the trees in those areas.
Okay.
So I have some things that I have to deal with one of the contractors is related to, because it's hillsides and erosion.
Okay.
So we can't do that in-house necessarily. But it's not a volunteer labor thing. It's more of a design engineering challenge. Because if you kill all the ivy on a hill, what happens to the hill? It falls into Lake Gerard. So,
No, just what you're talking about, too.
yeah, there's a couple of spots we have like that that I'm gonna work on this winter with our contractor, as long as things line up correctly. But it would be perfectly fine. I think you got permission from DENRAC, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have an issue with it. Just realize that at this time, the city, I can't commit to getting in there and treating that area.
So could we go in without you?
Yeah, she's saying.
Yes,
yeah,
you're-
right.
It's
we
not,
can.
if DENRAC said you guys can.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
so you don't need to be the babysitter.
Okay.
All right. Do you, having been in there a little bit, is there a place where you would recommend that we start?
You can see where we have done a little bit, like from the
Described.
force main area to the edge of the tennis courts, basically. You can see where we've done a little bit of initial
What's the
work in there.
force main? Oh,
That's where
oh,
the,
with a,
the-
yes,
the
yes,
outfall
yes.
like the
Okay,
corner
Yeah,
of
I gotcha. To the tennis
turf
courts.
and whatever that word is.
Why don't you and I go over there?
Okay,
But yeah, it's pretty obvious. Like it's relatively open, and then boom, it's like a curtain of vines and
All right.
briars and stuff.
So,
basically what you're saying, this is on us then.
why not? That's fine. Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Yeah, I think this
I'm
is,
saying that's more than I can handle right now, and
Okay, fair.
we need to take care of what we own first and finish out what we've started before taking on new projects.
yes, we can do this, but we should do it in the winter.
I agree, because of all the little creepy crawlies. Agreed. And the green things. that-
And there is still poison ivy, but winter would be easier because things will be the ivy will stick out. It'll be obvious to you because it'll be one of the only green things left.
Okay,
okay.
all right.
I think
That's,
this is
I-
part of fall
right.
cleanup,
winter
fall,
cleanup,
winter cleanup.
yeah.
There's probably a lot of trash in there too. We picked up a lot when we did the initial area.
Actually, it'd be a Christmas thing. You do like the holly and the ivy.
Christmas celebration. You can use it for decor.
That's a song. Okay. All right. I think we've done enough damage for one meeting. Let me just finish.
Carry that forward then.
Okay. Yeah.
Carry that forward.
So this is definitely one of the things. All right. Any comments for like new business topics or anything? I didn't come with
I
any.
had
What do you
one
got?
question, and I don't know whether this falls within our purview or not, but the spotted lanternfly, is that something that would be our business, or is that another group?
It would make sense to address here.
Yeah, it's not another group, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was reading that they're something that we should maybe be
Have you
concerned
seen many?
about, that they're in
Person, I don't. Yes, actually, my neighbor. My neighbor. They were on one of the.
I mean, around here. I mean, did they?
Yes. Well,
I
not
heard-
in town, Rehoboth, no. But we don't have many ailanthus trees. We have like, I've removed all of them, but the two largest ones to retain as like trap trees, and I've not seen any on there.
Okay.
But they're here.
Okay.
I mean, they're literally, if you know where like Nuttall Lumber is, they had them on a tree at Nuttall Lumber on ailanthus.
Yeah.
I was just reading that they like travel on things from other places.
Yeah.
And that since we have so many people that come, and I mean, I come back and forth,
Yeah.
a couple times a month with things, and that people should be aware.
Maybe a line in the,
That's what I was.
maybe
so-
a line in the sands
Yeah.
Okay,
article?
let me just see if,
I also have something, but my dog also ate it, so.
You should put your dog on the list.
Yeah,
so.
she's
okay,
a
wait minute.
menace.
So that things for Lynn would be, so it would be line in the sand for lantern.
Spotted lanternfly.
Spotted.
Yeah, you can go ahead and pass it down. Sorry again for the
Spotted
teeth marks.
lantern
Spotted lanternfly.
fly.
They're all over Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and they said, what I was reading is they're showing up in Sussex County, but they're in Virginia and Maryland, and
ivy,
they're coming here.
Right, repeat the ivy. What else is for Lynn? Repeat the ivy. This is for Lynn.
Oh, I know.
So spotted lantern, repeat the ivy. What else is for Lynn?
Well, I think we were talking about the, doing something with the ivy on lines in the sand.
Yes.
No, excuse me, on the Reach Out Rehoboth.
Okay, reach out, okay,
We might wanna-
okay. All right, so
about
I've got that, reach out Rehoboth, as well
Okay,
as,
And then I'm
lines in
gonna
the-
follow up with
okay,
the fire hall guy.
okay. So I got that.
All right.
And then, okay. Anything else for Lynn?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, okay.
All right, and then our next meeting, do we know when in
Yeah,
October?
October, I think it may be,
Forgot that already.
hold on, I got that right here. In fact, I got it right over here.
October 13th?
Although I will tell you, I cannot be here that day.
Okay.
Which day is it?
October 13th is the next regular meeting.
All right.
I'll not be here.
Susan, no.
That's why I was hoping we'd have that lecture in October. We would have had it on a different
Okay,
day.
well, we'll figure it out. All right.
Okay, everyone, I know we're pretty much done, but I gotta head out.
Yeah, no, that's
And
fine.
you're ready for your meeting? Okay, thanks a lot, Lou. All right,
Thank you, Liz.
well, if whoever holds your peace, I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 10:53 and a half.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all. Thanks you so much for your contributions and help. Been great. All right.